Yay. Aloha and welcome to Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson, coming to you from Hawaiian Paradise Park on the beautiful big island of Hawaii. Yay. So what's been coming up a bunch is sickness. I'm so excited about that. I love that. How is it going to get healed if it doesn't come to the surface? So it's all sickness, like anything that you get a perception of that seems to be unfair, unjust, constricting, anything like that. It's all a manifestation of a sickness in the mind. What's been coming to the surface lately, though, has been this physical illness, specifically named COVID. and there's plenty of people around here that, like, if you think you have COVID, you can like call them up and you guys can compare symptoms with each other and like get this thing going. One friend came yesterday or was it yesterday, Friday? Wow, the weekend was just like whoop, gone. One person came to Wisdom Dialogues on Friday, to the in-person one, and he was saying how he was just down for, I think he said 2 or 3 weeks. I noticed that he wasn't there, and he usually is there. And he said, yeah, I knew it was all in my mind, and I was just like, well, just lay down, basically. I'm not feeling well, or I think I'm not feeling well. Remember, your body doesn't have power to tell you how it feels. It's a projection. So you think you're not feeling well. So you think you're not feeling well, it's like, yeah, okay, that's a belief that you're having. It's like, take care of the manifestation, obviously. And for him, it was like, lay down, get some rest. Simple stuff like that. And the manifestation of the illness isn't a problem. So look at the way we react to whether or not a symptom is ongoing. And for those of you who know, those of you who've been following me, like Glenn knows for sure. When there was a thing coming up with my daughter, and it looked like a sickness, it looked like an addiction, it was the same kind of thing, and people were saying, and one of them was my sweet friend Leah, and it just like, hey, I know your daughter's going to come back to you, and stuff like that. I hope she comes back really soon, and stuff like that. And in my mind and in my heart, in my energy field, and the way I'm focused, is that it's not really relevant, the surface manifestation, to me. I would like it to go on as long as it needs to go on for awakening the mind. The same thing with any kind of anything. So it's not like, Leah goes, oh, by the way, I went to visit Leah. I had such a nice time with her. I spent the night, and I snuggled her up in her bed, and I left her up, and she's so sweet. And I gave her a massage, and sort of a massage. I was rubbing in my advanced pain and nerve formula all over her, because that stuff feels good, according to Peeps. I like it too. I usually use it for massage. And she was, and she was stoked. We laid in the sun a little bit. We had such a sweet time. And then I talked to her like maybe a couple days ago, or yesterday, or something like that. And it was so fun. I called her, and she answers the phone like this. I'm like, what in the world? Leah, you are so fun. Thank you. It's not like, oh God, they're still having their symptoms. It's like, it's like this, this is what, like neutrality, like the words neutrality and detachment are all about, it's like, you don't need to worry about the manifestation. You don't need to concern yourself with the manifestation. And, you know, this goes way back to training that I had when I was a Christian missionary. You know, it goes way back to that. You know, you're not in charge of the manifestation. You know, you accept that you are in fact healed, and that's all. And then you just rest in the awareness, and you know, there's also this you know, what I noticed for some people, not for everyone, for some people, you know, my daughter, my 29-year-old daughter Akea, she told me that she came down with COVID symptoms. And, you know, of course, I let her know, and she can take it too. I tell her, you know, you are not sick. And she's like, yeah, I know. And she's like, just chilling out. I don't know if she had tea or what she was doing, but, you know, then she's like cruising back to work. And some people are just laying down and drinking water, and some people are doing different things. And see, here's the thing: no thing works. No thing actually works. It's not like there's a magic bullet for something, because sickness is a manifestation of thinking. Okay, so when it arises, when the manifestation arises, the power we have is to not put more energy into sickness, not make sickness real, not pretend like our emotional reaction is even because of the sickness. Like if you know, you find out, oh, someone's not feeling well, and you're like, oh, and you get a sense, that's not because of the sickness. It's the other way around. It's the other way around. So, you know, these, you stop to be moved by these perceptions when you're noticing the perception is actually coming from you. It's actually for play. It's actually like an entertaining kind of play, helping you to resolve the resistance to perceiving an illusion. You know, it's not really anything that can harm you. Yay, Jerry, I love you. Yes. Yeah. So one thing that came really clear, that people are into, and you know, not very many people know about this, I guess. It's kind of interesting to me, because it seems like I've known about it, you know, my whole life, is that these viruses and stuff like that, they're not contagious. They're just not contagious. That's been something that we've been taught. It's been drilled into society, like viruses are contagious. So people will tell me, you know, like, oh, I hope you don't get sick if you go around. I hope I don't get you sick and stuff like that. I'm like, that's not possible. And it's like, how do you know you're not going to get sick? Well, I don't know if I'm going to have a perception of myself getting sick or not. I have no idea. Okay. But I know for sure that being near you, if you think you're having symptoms, that's not going to be able to pass over to me like that. It doesn't work like that. It's just a thought. It's just a fearful thought. None of these things are contagious. That's not a real thing. See, when it gets ingrained into the mind that things are contagious, then it's like automatically like, we think that we have to be afraid of things that are outside of ourselves. You know, for me, I don't mind if I get the perception of a sick body. I don't mind. The last thing I'm going to do is blame it on some kind of interaction that I had with someone, like that. Oh, that person gave it to me. And you know, I've even had someone go, well, where do you think I got it? It's not like, you know, it's not, it had to come from somewhere. Had to come from somewhere. Okay, so if everything you perceive comes from you, then where is the somewhere? Like, really, where is that somewhere? And you know, not only that, but that whole contagion thing, it's a theory, actually. That hasn't been proven. It's like how many chances are there going to be to prove that theory before you're like, okay, that theory didn't work. There's been plenty of people working with that to see if that's like, really a thing. Can we pass a virus from one person to another? And you can tell from your own experience, that's not the truth. You can look to your own experience and see that that's not the truth. Look, geez, one of my friends was said that she had the COVID symptoms all week long, and her husband was taking care of her all week long. He doesn't have any. They're not doing the vaccinated thing. It's like, and there's lots of different theories on that. There's theories of it coming from your mind turning on a certain receptor. I don't know, some kind of biological thing. But of course, biology isn't even the truth either. It's still symbolic. But still, things are pointing to, even in the make-believe world, that things are not contagious. But the story is that things are contagious. So people are buying into that, and that's what's making an illusion of bodies. And then there's even more, stories like, oh, the virus is manufactured, so that makes it stronger, so therefore it can do this to you. And here's the thing: nothing can harm you. Nothing in the world can harm you. Only your thoughts can make illusions of harm. And that goes for all the illusions of harm that you perceive. So any illusions of harm that you perceive, a sick body over here, death, some kind of violence, something like that, it's all for resolving this need we have. There's like an apparent need for it, like we just want to perpetuate it and keep it going for infinity. It never ends as long as we want to keep up the illusion of it. It just never ends. And it always seems like there's going to be like this miracle thing. Oh, thank goodness. I know, that idea that, oh, I'm not going to get sick. That idea, oh, I'm not going to get sick. Or if I get sick, I'm just going to knock it out with this thing or something like that. It's like, if you get the perception of sickness, number one, practice this if it's appealing to you, that you can't get sick. You can get a perception of sickness. You can only get a perception of sickness. It's the same as you got the perception of sickness in your own body as if you got the perception of sickness in another body. It's the same thing. You're going to perceive it differently in your own, if it seems to be in your own body, because the perception, the body's mechanism for perception, you can say, is picking up on all these different frequencies that feel fearful. Basically, pain is fear. Sickness is manifestation of fear. You can say that the virus is really fear and not anything else. So that's why it's healing whenever there's a willingness to allow the fear to be resolved. That means allowing the fearful thought to just pass. So after hanging out with Leah, I don't know where I was. I was here, and I noticed this great sense of fear come up, like, oh my God, what if I get a perception that I'm sick? And then the mind started to go into a thing. Watch the mind start to go into a thing. And it's like, oh no, that's not even relevant. That doesn't even mean anything. And you just get relaxation. And I think that's the only thing that people miss in everything, is just like, get that relaxation. Because once I get that relaxation, that thought is meaningless to me. So I'm not dwelling in fear. So, that's like, you could say my mission for every moment is to not dwell in fear. That doesn't mean I'm afraid of fearful thoughts. Fearful thoughts are circulating the mind. They show up to me all the time. They're constantly trying to tempt me into fear. It's fun. It's like a little game. And you know what? I might find myself going along for a few seconds, but there's a sensitivity to an upset feeling. Once the upset feeling has enough of an intensity, then I'm alert to it. Then those thoughts become meaningless to me because I can witness the immediate results of them, the immediate effects of them. And those effects aren't worthy of me, right? So it's just a choice. So number one, there's knowing that you're making a choice from moment to moment. You are making a choice. Yes. Yeah, you're going to follow a fearful thought, or you're going to allow a relief for it, and which is basically just awareness of it. The only reason you wouldn't let go of a fearful thought is that you thought it benefited you in some way. See? So when you get the perception that the immediate effect of that thought is an upset feeling, then you don't have to keep it. You can choose, and the choice is also choiceless. You may find yourself perceiving that for a little bit and watching yourself keep on going into it. Why do I like to flog myself? The way I would look at it, I was punching myself in the jaw. That's how it felt. Like as an impact on the emotional body, it's like punching myself in the jaw physically, because it's like, if you're in tune with the emotional body, you can see when you get an impact to it. And a thought that hurts, it's like too much. I can't go there. I just can't go there. It's not for me. So once you make that kind of like your habit and your priority, then you won't have to think about like, what should I do? What supplements should I take? Whatever. Things are just like a joyful unfolding. Things can just be like a joyful unfolding. What's the most joyful right now? You could say that's what God wants for you. What is most joyful right now? Healing is fun. Nothing wrong with the illusion of disease. No, there's nothing wrong with it. I'll take some of that snot and I'll slurp it right up. I don't care. I've heard of them doing experiments like that where they're trying to, prove the contagion thing, and they're doing nasty shit like having like someone who's having symptoms of spit in the mouth, like hawk loogies in the mouth of another person. I think that's hilarious. Leah did not get lesbian with me. You guys know I'm just kidding about this stuff, but it's fun to play with. I went over there and I went to give her a kiss and she kind of turned her face away. So I knew she wasn't kissing on the lips that day. I know that's just a natural thing. Jerry says, too bad, she is cute. I know, she's really cute. The dudes love her. It's really fun. Glenn says she must have been sick. Great. But she did let me snuggle her. She was really sweet and cuddly, and she let me rub her and stuff. And yeah, I'm super stoked. She's laughing her ass off. I'm super stoked to go back there and see her again. See if we can get her in high spirits. I think what happens is she gets in high spirits. I'm going to see. I'm like experimenting, I'm like trying shit out. But it seems like she gets in high spirits when I'm around. I'm like, oh, she's totally fine. All right, Leah, have fun. And, of course she is. But then like some days later, you call her up. It's like, whoa. And when I called, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna check if Leia's in high spirits right now. I'm gonna see what's up with her. So yeah, and I got my singing bowl and we'll play. Okay, Eden is on. Yay, Eden, thank you for joining. Eden used to live around here, and he contacted me about the money thing. Let me see exactly what he wrote so I can tune into that. Had something to do with money. That comes up all the time. It's so much fun. I'm glad it's coming up. And it seems to be coming up more all the time. A video talk on the topic of money and abundance. Yay! I love that topic. That is one of my favorite topics. So, just like there's no such thing as sickness, there's no such thing as money. There's no such thing as it. Okay? We put belief into this concept that we need money to survive. Did you guys see that? That is wild. And while it may look like that, remember, illusions are very convincing because the mind is all powerful to make illusions and to make them so convincing that it believes in them, that it totally believes in them. So the thing about money, the idea of money, the way it's set up, is that you need it to survive. You need it to do what you want. That's what people think. You need it to do what you want to do. Here's the thing. All you want, this will set you straight in all your abundance stuff. All you want are the lessons that are coming. That's abundance, because they're coming perfectly. They're coming. And that's all you want. Yes, kindness and the new currency. You got it. You got it. And the thought that you have money is a misperception. You have like a certain amount of money, right? You make all of the money that you could say all the money in the world. You make it. You make it up. It's all made up so that you can get the lessons you need to awaken your mind from the dream of sickness and death. Isn't that so fun? How much more? I mean, it's kind of like, how much more do you want? That's a complete abundance. That's what you want. You want to awaken from this dream. Well, the ego will go, yeah, but I want to awaken from it like this. I prefer to awaken up from it like this. Well, here's the thing. The ego doesn't know what you want. Your spirit, which is the same as your soul, which is the same as, you could say, your conscience, knows what you want before you ever have an idea of what it is. And when you're serving your function, your experience is joyful, more and more joyful. That's what you want. That is what you want. It's not in the things. It's not in the manifestation. You want expanding joy, and you're given exactly what you need for that. So, number one with money is you don't need it. Okay. And here's the thing. Here's how to apply that. Here's how to apply that to your actual experience. You're going in, you got this thought, and you're going, I really want, this thought's going, I really want that, I don't know, home. Let's say it's a home. $500,000 for this home. Look at your bank account. You got $500. You need $500,000 for the home. seems like an impossible situation for an ego, especially if you have bad credit and poor friends. What you want is an experience. You think you want an experience of a home that you can't have. So it's like you're thinking you can't have the experience. But the experience that you want is actually available to you right now. So when you're getting the sense that there's a gap between what you have and what you want, that gap is only in your thinking. You need an upliftment. You need more awareness. So it's like if you're asking for that, that's what you're going to be given, more awareness, not to get more money, but more awareness equals more awareness of your abundance. And, you know, if there's worry or stress or anything around money, which I know there is, this is the way we made the world to teach our minds. We made the world like this to teach our minds that lesson. We need to worry about money. So when we feel ourselves get worried about money, you probably know the sense of worry. Remember that there is no money. The sense of worry is over something else. The sense of worry is over the thought of separation. It's not over the money. The sense of worry is projecting the worry about money. So see if you can get some clarity there, and you know, you will if you're looking. And you know, it's attention to it over time that yields the results. Okay. You might find some instantaneous, oh my gosh, it just clicked. Some people, I'm like, that just clicked for you. That is so awesome. You heard it once and it freaking clicked for you. That's rad. You know, the thing is, we have built up these commitments to our patterns just through experience and experiencing the world and thinking that it's outside of ourselves. We built up commitments to these patterns. So sometimes it takes some watching. Oh, there's worry over money. Oh, and you're noticing that for a while, for me, I would notice I can't get relief. I have to do something. I have to try to get some, I gotta try to get some money. I gotta like distract myself. I have to do something to get some relief, and just watch that. Don't make it wrong. Just watch it play out. You watch it play out enough and wisdom develops. That's like that, that's just how it is, because your awareness just naturally is learning from this experience. Like what these things, what do they have any meaning? Wait a minute, do those things really have any meaning? Does worry really benefit me? Can worry benefit me? Just kind of like ask that question. And I don't know what I want. That's huge, because then you're just opening yourself up to be surprised. I have no idea what I want. But it's like surprises. It's like every day. It's like, oh, whatever it is. It's not like it has to go a certain way or people have to be a certain way. It's like whatever it is, I know it's a gift. So it's a blessing. It gets treated as a blessing. How do I know it's a gift? The moment is always bringing exactly what's necessary for awakening the mind. There's nothing extra. There's nothing that's just kind of like, oh, that thing's just off to the side. There's nothing extra. Everything is a gift. It's for awakening the senses and awakening the mind to the fact that there is no world here. That that's really like, it's like, sure, I'm asking you to live the concept that only love is real. If only love is real, then where would worry come in? It's so simple like that. And how can there be any kind of deficit, like any kind of lack? Like, even if you go and you perceive that you have $300,000 in debt, that's perfect. That's abundance right there. It takes a lot of energy to project an illusion like you're completely the opposite of abundant. Maybe you could just be grateful for that. That's like the opposite. That's the complete opposite of abundance. That's freaking awesome. That it can uphold an illusion like that. And these whatever you perceive as challenges, like financial challenges or otherwise, in the illusion, they are the challenges that you need. And the challenge is you would say everyone needs you to see through your resistance to that. Like, what's the resistance? And when the resistance to having that perception, like say $300,000 in debt, just to use one that popped into my mind, the resistance to having that perception is basically where it needs to heal, where the healing needs to go. What's the resistance to that perception? What's the resistance to the perception that I don't have enough money to just go and buy that house that I want, or home, or land, or shirt, or shoes, or whatever? What's the resistance to having that perception? See, I know that we've been trained in the world to look for things in the world and go for things in the world. And I know what I'm saying, what I'm sharing with you might sound really foreign, but everything is coming to you. And you could just allow it to drop into you. Say, like, it's kind of like be drawn into your experience, drawn into on your canvas, brought onto the stage. I really appreciate the concept of money because it gives us that opportunity to feel that one out. So we have to earn our way. Gosh, that's awesome. And look how it seems to be coming to the surface for so many people now. I notice so many of the young people are like, look, I don't want to do this. I don't want to live this kind of life you guys set up for me. What the heck? This says I have to slave, or else figure out a way to make a whole bunch of money so I don't have to worry about it. Like, there's another way out. It's right in this moment. It's right in this instant. Just let it become so unimportant. I mean, if you're working in a business, like Miracle Botanicals, my essential oil business is a business, been a business for like 10, 11 years, something like that. And, when we're doing pricing and stuff, we're looking at the money, and that's not a problem. Any of that kind of doership is not any kind of problem. Where you get a sense of loss. Like, I'll use anything. Like, at one point, a bottle of essential oil broke it, in our office. And the immediate thought goes to how much should you lose? And so just allowing myself to get that feeling reaction, get the feeling reaction from that thought. What did you lose? How much did you lose? Get the feeling reaction there. That's all. That's all that's being asked. And through the practice of that, you learn that you don't want anything in this world. You don't want or need money, even. That doesn't mean money can't come to you. It can, and it's likely that it will in your dream. But since you don't have that attachment to it, everything is so much easier. And if you feel a draw toward money, that's also not a problem. Great. You have a draw toward making money. I feel like making money. That's the mode my sweet little son Blaze is in right now. Big son, I should say. I feel like making money. Great. And, it still applies. It doesn't matter. You can go after making money like that. I don't, if you're asking me for a formula to doing it, I don't know the formula. But you can go looking for the formula, whatever it is, to making a whole bunch of money and still be detached from it. It doesn't mean that you have to be wrapped up in it as like your identity depends on it or something like that. Anything that you're drawn to, if you're drawn to, and that seems to give you joy, looking at, oh, how can I make some money like this? And that brings joy. Great. That's a joyful thing for you. Great. It doesn't matter. That part doesn't matter. It's where you start to get upset. That is an indication that you thought against yourself. You use that perception to think against yourself. That's all there is here. Manifesting. It's always coming, but it's meaningless. Hooray. Yes, Glenn. Yes. I like that comment. I was just checking over there on Facebook to see if anyone commented. If you guys want to comment me on Facebook, you can. I see your comments. Feel free to ask any questions. I'm super stoked to help clarify anything for you. If anything that I said seems like it could use further clarification, speak up. So with manifesting, what's being asked of you is to make it all the same. Whether that be manifesting money, manifesting a bath, a meal, a drive, whatever it is, it's manifesting. A vegging out on the couch, a rest in the bed. If you think about the importance, you could say the importance of your experience because of how you learn through your experience. You think about the importance of it, then there's no reason why you wouldn't always want to be like in ceremony, with everything that it is that you seem to be doing. I know there's things throughout the day where it might seem like, oh, I just have to get through this. I have to get through this drive. I have to get through this work. I have to get through This sickness, that's another one. And this have to get through this kind of vibe, this kind of energy is something that multiplies on its own when we feed it. Okay. So it's not a matter of whether you find yourself doing that thing, for me at one point in my life, I was like, wow, I just have to get away from the computer. I just have to push myself away from the computer. And I find myself physically pushing myself away from the computer, just like, I got to get off of that. And it seemed like a struggle, it's just like back and forth like that. And I realized it's not that I need to get away from the computer. I need to get comfortable with that. That feels like I don't want to be there, because it is the most uncomfortable thing to find yourself doing something that you don't want to do, and so just to like feel that, and then in that, these things, they just smooth themselves out. Like for me, it had to do with just being drawn back into like, want to check this, want to check this, want to check this, want to check this. And just by like slowing everything down in my mind and letting myself get like an experience of it, like what is the experience? That's what it all is. And you could say what God's will for you is to have a joyful experience. So in watching, all of the decisions that are made for you and through you into the world, and the things that you seem to be doing and everything, are coming from a mindset. They're coming from a particular mindset. All that doing is just reacting. It's just reacting to thinking. All doing, all speaking, everything. It's just reacting to thinking. It's like a kind of like, how a plant seems to be reacting to the environment. It's like a reaction to thinking, and whatever it is that we seem to do, say, anything. So it's not like we're not supposed to judge. It's like we are not even capable of judging ourselves or anyone else. And same thing goes for, we're not capable of judging whether we seem to have the right amount of money, the right partner, whether we should be perceiving these symptoms or not. It's like, hooray for any manifestation. You know why? Because without manifestation, there would be a guilty mind for perpetuity. So manifestation is the saving grace. It's what we need. So I'm glad for all manifestations. I'm happy to take them in and see through them. Really, the moment to moment listening is the most powerful thing that can be done. Just the moment to moment listening to the inner guide. There's my man behind me. He's gardening. It's so cute. That's a sweetie. That's why I'm grateful for every manifestation. Everyone is, for one, taking a lot of abundance to make it seem like it's really happening. That's amazing. And to give me an opportunity to deny truth to that thing that seems to be happening. See, I deny truth to sickness. There's no truth to it. I'm having a misperception if I perceive it in myself or if I perceive it in anyone else. It's not up to me when there will be a perception of healing. Healing is final as soon as it's asked for. And as long as we're getting perception of sickness, the mind still needs healing. Forgiveness is still in order. That's all. You know, when you're thankful, when you're showing gratitude for everything, basically, who are you showing it to? Yourself. Your mind is learning. Gratitude becomes the habit. Thank you. I mean, that's like the first thing for me is like, oh, thank you. I know everything is working out. I know this is going in my favor. Even if you get the perception of your friend, someone else, they got the perception that they croaked. Is that the word? They died. They whatever. 86th. Gratitude is also in order. It's also gratitude that's in order. And that's what's really reasonable. You know, to an ego, that's not reasonable. To an ego, what's reasonable is grief, guilt, fear. But even that show, I mean, these bodies, they're not like guaranteed to be in your perception for a long time, for any amount of time. They're just arising for a teaching. They're a device for teaching. I think A Course in Miracles calls it a teaching device. What's better than roses on your piano? What in the world? Yeah, I gotta turn this up. Aloha, Maria. Can you guys hear me okay? Because it's raining over here. Guys are telling dirty jokes on here, I think. I don't know if I'm getting them. I don't know if I'm even reading them correctly. Garden Hummer. Oh my goodness. Anyways. Yes. You hear me. Okay, good. It seems like I can't hear myself. It's amazing that it's picking it up. Okay, yes, Maria. Miracle mindedness. Maria wants me to talk on miracle mindedness. Did you guys hear that? Copy as fuck. Okay, let's wait a second. Meditate for a minute. Okay, come on, Ann. Let's go in here. Okay, guys, we're moving into quieter pastures. There you go. Okay, close that door, Ann. And then come kick back on my couch with me. All right, now we're kicking back on my couch. Here we are. Okay. We escaped the loud rain. Now we're going to talk about miracle mindedness. Yay, Anne. You're so fun. Okay. Is that where the stuff is? I don't know what stuff you're talking about there, Glenn. Okay, so miracle mindedness. So basically, what that's saying is that you're open for a miracle. So you're not holding on to your perception like what you made of it. You're not holding on to that thing that's making that upset feeling, that's causing you to hold on to this upset feeling and project it. Let's say that. That way you're open for the healing. So let's say, for instance, miracle minded with regard to sickness, say you believe in contagion. So it's just like being open to have a different interpretation. You're open for the way the spirit judges this thing, this person, place, thing, situation. You're in a space where you're ready to receive a complete reordering of the way you see. That's a miracle. So you're open to that. One, like the very first one, the very first one where I was like, wow, that was a miracle. I felt that. And it still serves as a really good example today, is when I got the perception when I had one big son and one little son. I think they were maybe like 6 and 12, 5 and 11, something like that. And I got the perception that the big one was bullying the little one. And it was a really hard perception to have. I started having thoughts of maybe sending the bigger one to a military school, get him out of the house so he doesn't have to be bullying the little one around, hurting him and stuff like that. And excuse me. And I go, wow, I'm getting the perception that he's bullying. And I just stopped automatically believing in my interpretation. And it's like right there, I just stopped automatically believing in my interpretation. And I was paying attention to how it felt in my body to have that perception. I was standing there watching a scene that looked like bullying to me. And I noticed what it felt like in my body's energy field. And my big son looked at me and he said, "You're really pissed at me right now, aren't you, Mom?" And I said, "It seems like I am, but I know that's not true. I just love you." And I felt an energy. And that's the thing about a miracle too. You can sense it. You can feel like it's a release of energy. So it's like a release of energy, kind of like shot up through the crown chakra, and that sense that one was bullying the other was not there anymore. I was not getting that sense. I was getting a sense of something else now. I could sense that my boy's relationship was just perfect. And then the perception of the bullying just didn't even occur to me again. It just didn't come back again. I'm like, oh, isn't that interesting? That's not a thing anymore. And you realize that the whole time, you were actually making up the scene. You're actually making that thing up. this to have an impact on yourself. And then, and you know, it's such a shift in perception. So you're open to such a shift in your perception. So the opposite of miracle minded is to like believe in your perception, like to believe that, you know, what one of the thoughts that occurs to you, am I a failure? Like that question has any meaning. If you have a question of what you should do, it's always for right now. See, if you're asking, kind of like asking your conscience, you can say, or the Holy Spirit, or spirit, or your spirit guide, or however you want to call it. If you're asking for a different interpretation from the one that you think is the interpretation, that's miracle minded. If you're looking for a different interpretation, not leaning to your own understanding. So whatever it is, whatever kind of perception it is, if it strikes fear in your heart, then you know right away that it's not worthy of you. Just knowing it's not worthy of you makes you miracle minded. Oh, thanks, Maria. You're beautiful. I appreciate you. What about the perception that your house had been consumed by lava and all your possessions? Wow, trippy. Yeah, it's great. I mean, you know, I recommend it. Not that anyone can like make a choice in that. I mean, you can apparently make a choice to move to lava zone 1, I guess. But but really no one has a choice in that either. Yeah, it was kind of like, you know, the one big part of it is just experiencing it like, wow, this is an example of you don't own anything. You just don't own anything. How freeing is that? I freaking love it. I don't own anything. I was ready to leave everything and go with just like clothes. I like to have clothes with me, at least a couple of them. but you know, who knows? I'm not gonna say I need clothes either. If I find myself naked, then that's awesome. I love that dream where you're naked. That's one of my favorites. I haven't had it in a while though, because the last time I had it, I had so much fun in there. I was just like, what's up? I'm naked. And whether they liked it or not, it was fine. I was just naked. But yeah, you don't have anything, and you can practice that anytime. And I recommend it. I recommend practicing that you don't have anything, because everything that you think you have is going to be lost. That's how it goes, including people, all that shit. Everything that you think you have, your hair, fuck, your skin, everything you think you have is going to fucking be lost. So, yeah, I recommend you practicing that you don't have anything. And that's just like moment to moment where it seems like, oh, they took that thing from me, or the lava took all my stuff. Oh, the lava took all my stuff. You know, if you can't have fun with something, you know, you can't use it, you're saving it for later or something, you don't have anything. Might as well have fun with it. And here's the thing, when you're recognizing that you don't have anything, and all these things and all these people that you perceive are just passing in your experience, they get so much more of your attention. It's so sweet. All of your relationships flourish.
because you're not trying to get something from it. You're not looking at it as like a benefit or a threat kind of way. It's just all beneficial because of what it is. And anything that you get a perception of yourself doing is also beneficial. Anything. I mean, I guess that concept might be kind of hard for a guy like Alec Baldwin right now. You guys probably know the story that he like had a loaded gun somehow on a movie set and shot and killed someone with it. Did you hear about that, Anne? You didn't? That's awesome. So, maybe someone has a perception like that. That's going to be like pretty difficult. As soon as I had the perception that went down immediately, so I just sent some compassion going out to him, for Alec Baldwin, for the family. Mainly though, it was like Alec Baldwin, because now that's the person that's going to have a bunch of shame heaped on them. They have a bunch of shame heaped on them. So it's like, you look at something like that and it's like, it makes it look kind of simple in your day to day, where you might have stepped on someone's toe, or you might have done something like this or whatever, but it doesn't matter what it is. It's not like there's some kind of hierarchy. It's not like you stepping on someone's toe is any different than shooting a fucking person. It's not actually. It's just, from the ego standpoint, the way the ego would flare up on something like that, it might be a lot more difficult to allow yourself to be relieved, with that kind of pressure. Not that you don't deserve it equally. You totally deserve the relief equally. So basically, it's like the energy that gets extended to Alec Baldwin is just like this sense of it's okay. Really, it's like, take a deep breath and it's okay. Nothing has happened, and also, if you get the sense where you hear a story like that, and you notice that you're immediately trying to blame. I've seen that. Blame him. Go into the story about it. It's like there is a fear of having an accident. People have a fear of having an accident. And the fear of having an accident is exactly what makes them manifest in the perception. And that's anywhere in the perception, not just to you as an individual. So, like for me, I'll just allow myself to kind of like, that saying, like walk a mile in his shoes. Like just allow myself to sense what that's like. Because, it's like when you get that perception, like, you hear about maybe a friend was a drunk driver and they killed their friend or something like that. And you get the perception, immediately there's a fear that arises, that fear that it can happen to you. So when you find yourself trying to defend against that, it's just like, oh, no one, you don't have a choice in it. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you could do to prevent yourself from having a perception that you need to have. There's nothing you can do. So you might as well practice allowing yourself to be calm and be comforted within any kind of upset perception. Calm and comforted within any kind of upset perception. And that's so powerful, so simple and so powerful. And that's something that I learned, when I was going through my last childbirth with my son who's 13 right now, where there seemed to be an issue with me. There seemed to be an issue with my body retaining enough iron, so that I would have to go to have a hospital birth unless I got my iron up. And so, I ended up being sent to a naturopathic doctor that kind of like did this tapping stuff on me. And from having that experience, I realized it's all in my own mind. Like, all there is to do here is relax. Like, all she's doing is like helping me to relax, to the point where I felt like and really believed that it's okay if I get a cesarean section. Because as long as it wasn't okay that I would get a cesarean section, I was getting the perception that I couldn't retain iron. When my mind changed about the cesarean section, all of a sudden the iron levels go up. See? It was just like that. To me was the worst. I was so physically focused. I did not want a cesarean section because I want my freaking abs. I want to be in a 2-piece and want my freaking abs. That was the mindset at the time. So once I was just like allowing myself to relax with, it's okay if I get a cesarean section, I never even needed to go to the hospital, much less get a cesarean section. Easy as heck. Easiest thing. Pretty much the easiest thing. I remember one time, this is from Maria. I remember one time me and my sister were riding the public jeepney and she commented on all the pollution. I replied, "Oh no, they're fairy dust." She said, "Hey, I like your interpretation." That's funny. Yeah, well, it is okay to identify pollution as pollution. It's just that it's not a threat to you. See, you can identify it as fairy dust too. I don't mind. It's the same. But it's okay to identify it as a pollution. It's just not a threat. Fairy dust is fun too. You call it whatever you want. You make it whatever you want. It was the funniest thing. I laughed my freaking ass off when someone told me, "You can't just make it whatever you want." And I go, "Yes, I can. You're making it what you want." We're all making it what we want, actually. So it's like, whatever the people are doing, it's like, wow, thank you for that performance. Thank you. I appreciate you. And then you can live, only love is real. You don't have to be afraid of how their performance is. It's always perfect for you. Even if you find yourself see, oh, that's really not for me in this way. Find out through experience. Oh, that's not meant to be my partner. You just know. It's obvious. Just looks obvious. In business and this, friendship, whatever. But there's appreciation for however everyone is performing. I had a really interesting perception this week. I was at a farmer's market. There's this little farmer's market. It's outside and really small kind of hallway right next to a restaurant we have here called Kaleo's. It's a restaurant I used to go to like 4 or 5 days a week. I'm not kidding. they used to, I used to know all the peeps there, other regular customers, all the people. Um, and it just like in August last year, it just occurred to me, you know what? I am not feeling the vibe of like wearing a mask from the front to the table to go eat something. That just doesn't appeal to me anymore. I'm not into it. So I haven't been going to that restaurant at all. But I do go there for the farmers market that's outside, and it's on Sunday, and it's outside. So there's no outside mask mandate. So I could go outside without one. Um, so I walked up, and there was a woman with the mask right on her chin, just standing there at the front with a really grumpy look on her face. And I walked up and I saw the beautiful persimmons, and I'm like, I'm gonna make some persimmon pie. And she looked at me and she goes, "Oh fuck, you're not wearing a mask," and she rips hers off, right? And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not wearing a mask." And she goes, "I can't believe this," and she just went on a whole tirade. She was so mad. I was looking at her face, and her face was like, "What'd you stop?" It was so fun. I love her. She was so awesome. She's just like, I was like, wow, this lady is like really feeling like this is angering her. So I'm just standing there and I'm smiling at her and stuff. And I said, "Do you want to have a hug about it?" And she said, "Yes." And then we had a hug. and then and then she said, she said, "Do you know the joke, 'Let's go, Brandon'?" And I said, "Oh yes, I know that joke, 'Let's go, Brandon.'" And she's like, "Oh, I love you." And she hugs me and everything. If you guys don't know what it is, just like look it up. "Let's go, Brandon." So anyways, she told me, "You just really cheered me up because I was invited to this party, and I can't stand one of the people who was invited, and they told me that they weren't going to invite her, but they invited her, and I'm just out here like blowing off some steam right now because I do not want to see this person. I can't stand her." And then she mentioned the person's name was Hope, and I said, "Oh, Hope, I'm Hope." And she goes, "No, it's not you." And I go, "Oh, I think I know what Hope you're talking about. It's my friend Hope Sermel, yeah." And she goes, "Oh yeah, I can't stand her." And she talks about, and I go, "Oh, she's right there." And she goes, "Okay, I'm getting out of here." And then she walks away. And then Hope comes up to me and she says, "That lady you were talking to, she can't stand me." And I was like, "I know, she told me." And, I just loved her up. And she goes, "That's what you always do." And I go, "Well, yeah, when someone is telling you that they don't like you, or they're really annoyed with you, or they're really annoyed with someone, they're basically in pain. And that was the reason for this thing." See if I can do it. That face. Maybe I can do it. Well, they're pretty good. Can I talk like that? So that's the reason for that. And I got the sense that that particular woman would go and perceive things and use things in her perception to get herself like that often. And that's why her mouth was like permanently shaped. It looked like it was permanently shaped downwards. I mean, she could smile. She was definitely having fun with me for a minute before the person that she didn't like came up. So I shared that with Hope, and she's like, "Oh my goodness, yeah," because she was just about ready to go into the room where that woman is, and the woman is there mad dogging her basically. And she was actually standing outside, like, because Hope hadn't arrived yet, kind of like looking for her just to mad dog her. And that really, and then I shared with Hope that doesn't have anything to do with you, actually. you know the woman needs love, not from you in that way if you're the one who's their target, They don't know you want you going, hey, I just want to. No, stay the fuck away from them. They don't want you near them. You don't need to go near them. But soften your heart. Whatever perception they seem to be getting about you, that's about themselves. And look at the manifestation that makes. It makes a sad manifestation to the point where even the face is formed in a way that constantly looks sad. Like all you can do is not, and that's what forgiveness is all about, you guys. That's what forgiveness is all about. It's like you forgive them for the illusion that you make. So the way I look at it is, oh my goodness, I taught this woman to be angry like this. I taught this woman to be like this. So then it's like you're teaching and learning something else now instead of projecting that same lesson. See? So then you're teaching and learning that only love is real and it's okay. They can vent, people can vent, they can hear themselves say what they're saying. And, it's not like you're obligated to agree with them. I never feel like I'm obligated to agree with someone. Like when someone's telling me how annoying a person is or something like that, I never feel like I'm obligated to take a side, to take a stance. It's just that I'll just listen to them. And, and really any commentary that I make, anything like that, I'm just allowing it to come from my inner teacher because I'm listening in a way where I'm feeling with them. So I'm feeling the vibration of the words they're saying to me. And I can tell when they feel upset because I feel them, and I can have the relaxation within my energy field for them. See? So it's not it's not projecting the misbelief, the thought that there's something wrong, but it's allowing the misbelief to be healed in light of what's really true. Everything that I'm getting a perception of is coming from my own mind. And it's only being shown to me because that's where healing needs to happen. So I don't need to try to determine what my lessons are going to be. It's just whatever it is right now. It's just whatever it is. And as there's willingness to go along and, let the play out, but living your function, which is the truth. Living your function, forgiveness, awareness, getting those reinterpretations. That's where the joy is. That's where the joy in life is. That's where all the joy is. That's what you want. You want connection. And that's what all the perceptions are revealing to you, what you can relax. You can say, let go, give up, surrender, so that you can experience more joy. You could say you should be experiencing joy in the sense that if you're not experiencing joy, you made a mistake in your thinking and you're still mistaken. It's not like you made a mistake and now you're being punished. No, you made a mistake and you're still mistaken. When you can have joy with it, when you're at joy, enjoy with whatever it is, then your mind is clear. Doesn't mean you have to try to paint lipstick on a pig, pretend like it's something that it's not. Okay. The joy comes from knowing who you are. Like what I mean by that is you don't have to replace the illusion with another prettier illusion. Just let it be an illusion. Generalize all of them and make them all the same. Whether it happens to be about your body, whether it happens to be about the government, whether it happens to be about money, about your partner, about your kids. Generalize it into feeling. Take the attention into the feeling sense and let your guidance come from that place. Thought resonates as feeling in the body. Thought, feeling, thought, feeling. So when you turn your attention to how you feel, you can determine where that thread of bliss is. That's allowing you to constantly choose high vibrational thoughts and let those thoughts that defile you just pass. Because you can sense it. You can just sense it. Even there's a sense like when you walk into a room, like if I walk into a room where there's a choice, there seems to be a choice of places to sit down. Just pause for a moment. I get the sense of what seat is for me. Any choice in the world, you get a sense without the mind interfering. Take food, for instance. Let's take food, for instance, because that's so fun. What do you want from the menu? There's a menu. What do you want from the menu? Watch where your thinking goes. Watch that. And then come back to your feeling. Notice where your thinking goes. What are you counting? What are you counting here? Are you someone's counting calories? Are you counting fat? Are you counting animal products? Are you counting this or that or this or that or this or that? Doesn't matter. Just make a note of it. And then look at the menu. Look at each item and feel. Watch. One of them will just light up. But most people go to their conditioning to help them with this. That's going to the ego, basically. Going to your conditioning is going to the ego. What should I eat? What should I say? What should I this? What should I that? Ask your teacher. On the spot. Just on the spot. Because you could feel it. That's when you could feel it. What's good? What feels good? Choices get made in a dream for nobody. Funny shit. Yes. Yes, it is. It's good stuff. It's good that there's no body. Because if you had to take responsibility for your body, oh my goodness. There's thinking that we take responsibility for the body, and there's believing in it, but we never really do have to. We're not really capable of it. That's what's funny. That's funnier. That's even funnier, Glenn. We're not really capable of being responsible for the body. Because the mind is making it, the mind's projecting it. But as soon as we think we're capable of being responsible for the body, we got a big burden on ourselves. This thing looks like an intricate fucking machine I mean, it's amazing. You look at it, it's all intricate and stuff. It's like got all these parts and they all work together just perfectly, apparently. It's a good illusion. But it doesn't have anything. And that's the thing about a body. It's got no intelligence in it. And um, we've been trying to endow it with mental qualities, for a really long time. We make up words, even like instinct, like the body is somehow has a certain memory, muscle memory, like the body has a certain kind of memory on its own. And it is 100% a projection of the mind, just like the whole world is. That's why an illusion like sickness, it can't be sustained when the mind is healed. That's why an illusion like sickness is such a benefit, because it shows you exactly where healing is necessary and gives you an opportunity to let it be healed. So what's always sick is the mind. That's always what needs healing. And you can go through several healings while perceiving one so-called sickness. Go through several healings of your thinking, for your thinking. Watching the kind of murderous thoughts that arise in the mind, fearful stuff. Fear always comes with the perception of not feeling good, dreadful, dreary, everything like that. This is a journey. It's an emotional journey through currents of thoughts. And they're all ends of the spectrum. So they can be super dark. The thing is, none of them touch you. So it doesn't matter how dark it is. And here's the thing, you guys. A lot of us think that we're unique if we get murderous, suicidal, dreadful thoughts. We think that we're unique. Like that's not happening to everyone. Okay. Look, everyone is getting those thoughts. They circulate the mind. Okay. I know I have some friends, I've heard some family members say, oh, no, not me. I don't get those kinds of thoughts and stuff like that. But then if you just listen to them talk, you can tell that they do. If you're aware and you can like, okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's like a manifestation. You see it manifest, you just see it manifest right out of the mouth. So everyone gets these really dreadful kinds of thoughts. They just naturally circulate the mind. If you are perceiving a body, they're coming. They're these dreadful, fearful, deep fear, suicidal, murderous kind thoughts. Those are the cause of sickness, disease, accidents, all that kind of stuff, because they're being fed. Those kinds of thoughts are being fed. So people don't realize and think there's something wrong with them. And a lot of people are keeping this secret. They're trying to keep it secret a lot of people are trying to keep it secret from themselves, that they have these kinds of thoughts, because it's so scary. Look, you don't have to keep it to yourself. You can talk about it. I mean, talk with people who can understand it, that you're just having a misperception, say it to yourself. I'm having a misperception. This is a dreadful perception. You got there by making choices, basically making thoughts meaningful. You just went down this path. That thought, that thought, that thought, that thought. And then all of a sudden you find yourself, it seems like you're in the dark and there's no light in sight. But it was just a series of choices. It's really the same choice over and over again to make your illusions true. and you can pop out of it really fast if there's just willingness to see that you did lead yourself there and thought none of it's really true. And you can have relief from it right now. You can have complete relief from it if you're willing to accept relief from it. Funny faces and relaxing places. Choices get made in the dream. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to see my lovely Leah again today. So awesome. And yeah, no, not that it's meaningful to me either way. I didn't get the perception of any kinds of symptoms. I didn't get any perception of any kind of symptoms or anything like that. Um, if I do, I'll let you know. I don't mind. It's not like I mind. When I told my daughter, because I think most of you guys know, when my daughter was a teenager and it looked like she had a ringworm and everyone was saying she had a ringworm, I licked her ringworm and she was really relieved by that because she felt so dirty and shameful. Well, she goes, I'm so glad you're going over there because I just know you're not going to get sick. And, I go, well, the thing is, I can't get sick. There's no, I'm not going to get sick. There's knowing that I cannot get sick. It's not possible. I can get the perception of sickness, and I'm not afraid of it. That's the thing. I can't get the perception of sickness by hanging out with a person that thinks they're sick. That's not how I can get the perception of sickness. I can only get the perception of sickness by buying into fearful thoughts, because sickness is a manifestation of fear. So I feel 100% protected in that. Okay. And that's it. I don't give a bunch of thought to, do I want to try to avoid it, or do I want to try to, there isn't any it to avoid. I mean, basically, if you get the sense that you're starting to get some symptoms, any kind of symptoms, and this is how it is for me, any kind of symptoms, stuffy nose, anything, little sore throat, I don't know, upset tummy, any kind of symptom, just an acknowledging I'm making that up. And if you're watchful, you'll see that sick feelings occur to you all day long. That's fun. Why do they occur to you? They occur to you so that they can be resolved. Your energy is so big and powerful in love. You can embrace that upset feeling and reap the benefits of it. So it's kind of like these little sick feelings are being offered to us all day long, and then we can bite in if we want it. If there's some value in sickness, if we think there's some value in sickness. So, like for a person that's perceiving their own body as being sick, their mind believes that there's some value in sickness. And when they don't believe that there's a value in sickness anymore, there will be no sickness. So we're taught from a young age to value sickness. For one, you can get out of doing anything, especially now with COVID. I got COVID, sorry. Oh shit, you got COVID? Sorry, I even asked you to do anything, you know? But you taught from when you're a kid, if you're just sick, you don't have to do anything if you're sick. And it goes deeper than that too, It's like if I'm sick, and it's insanity, of course. But if I'm sick, that'll teach them, you know. Look at uh look at how look at how you've harmed me. Look at how your thing has harmed me. Look at how your body harmed me. Look at what happened to me when you didn't give me that medication that I needed, it's just like all this victimization. There is sickness is an election of the mind to prove that illusions are true. I have no use for it. I actually have no use for it. I'm going, no, I don't know. And if I get the perception that my body is sick, then I know that there's a hidden belief that has me making this thing valuable, that has me saying I need sickness for something. I can use this for something. I can get some kind of gain in the world from this. Something good can come from this. The other one is detox. That one cracks me up. It's like, okay. Yeah, I think sickness is great because it helps the body detox. No, it doesn't. Detox is also an illusion. There's no detox. Okay. That's a game we play. It's awesome. Let me just say the concept is awesome just to show a different point of view. Let's take a different point of view. Okay. I'm not going to say that that's a shitty concept. You couldn't have it. You shouldn't have it. You're moving from sickness to detox is still moving in the illusion, but it's showing your mind that a different interpretation is possible, at least. Still, it's making illusions true. Because we're making ourselves into something that can be affected by the world, by the environment around us. Our bodies are not really affected by the environment around us. It looks like that. Our mind is projecting the body and the environment as one projection. The body is like a sounding board, you can say, because the whole sense you have of being alive in a world is coming from a body sense. The body is sensing, like, you got your five senses, basic five senses. Body is sensing that there is a world here. There's a person over there. This is a computer. We're doing Zoom. I'm on a couch. Body sense. So it's like, it's like all these thoughts that make up an individual, shape an individual, all these thoughts that shape an individual, and there's getting an interpretation of these thoughts. It's a body sense. It's like the structure, personal structure of thought. It's not really structured as a form, but it can project a form, and that form is the body and its world, which are one projection. The body and its world, one projection. So, and that might make you feel better for a while to think of it in terms of, oh, my body is getting healthier. Good. That's a step in the right direction. Whenever you get the sense that you're, when you ever get the sense that your body's sick and you think, oh, it's detoxing, it goes to the right direction. It's going in the right direction for me because it's a detox. Good, you're going in the right direction in thoughts too, because you're getting some relief, some pressure off. Still, it's making illusions. Still, it's projecting bodies. Still, it's projecting sickness. It's projecting death. If you believe in detox, you have to detox. And what is detox but a warm up for death, the ultimate detox? The body doesn't need a detox. You don't need to go through any kind of pain. You don't need that. Pain is right now, it's a manifestation of fear. So if you put your attention into anything that's painful, I know people have talked about with the COVID symptoms, body aches, trouble breathing too, man. You guys, that's a fearful manifestation. Don't buy into that you need some help breathing. You don't need any help breathing. The body cannot apparently pass away until it's time. Do you get that? Do you get that? The body can't apparently pass away until it's time, until it's perfect for teaching and learning. You're in no danger of having your body pass away at the wrong time. All that's being asked is to experience the experience. Even confusion, even the sense of confusion, it holds sickness in place. Watch the confusion. Confusion is always of the ego. Your guidance is so simple and your guide is so close that there's nowhere to even go. Any kind of experience, it seems like you have to get through it, say some kind of pain or something like that. Any kind of experience, it seems like that. If you will sink in and go underneath it. You know, I have one friend who was doing chronic headaches. She was experiencing chronic headaches all the time. And she heard me talking about pain and sickness and stuff like that. She got so freaking triggered because she was taking medication for her headaches, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. You know, I'm not against it at all. In fact, you can take medication for pain and still practice this. Doesn't matter. But anyways, she took it as if, shit, it's all in my mind. What am I doing taking this medication? And didn't talk to me for a little while. And then she came around and told me she wasn't talking to me for a while because she was so triggered by that thing. But then she realized and she realized that she was triggered. So she went within. She's like, what is this? I'm going to explore this. Next time a headache comes up, I'm going to not take the medication and explore this, what Hope is talking about. And she sat through it. She sat through the projection of pain, experiencing the pain as it was. Pain is not pain until you make that interpretation. She's experiencing the pain as it was, not as she made it into this painful thing, and it changes. And then she realized she really didn't have headaches. She's making it up. Once again, we're making it up. I know it's hard. I know it's the most difficult thing you can do. And also, it's given you to do it. Because look, who is it difficult for? except an ego? Who can it possibly be difficult for except an ego? So when you're aware of that, you can watch the ego's difficulty and hold that lightly as well. Only the ego can possibly be having any difficulty with this. What makes it seem difficult for you is identification with the ego and commitment to sickness being something that you can catch, that can be caused outside of yourself, that can threaten your health. You have commitment to those thoughts. That's what makes it seem difficult. Oh God, this is so difficult. I know. I played with it a bunch with sleeping, because I would get the perception for a while that I was barely sleeping. I was getting the perception I was sleeping like 3 or 4 hours a night. And then I get the perception that I'm tired. And I just played with that illusion and look, I say play because it's in a playful way. It's not serious. It's like the thought comes up that I am tired because I didn't sleep last night. And I just apply reason to, there is no last night. I'm making this up right now. There's not last night. I can't blame it on last night. I'm projecting tired for myself right now. I got to play with that for a while, probably some years. And then at one point I just started sleeping again, and that wasn't a thing. But the non-sleeping was there just for awakening. And I know it's not like a mistake that it's arising in the field. And I experience for myself that energy does come from awakening, does not come from sleeping. Because I've also had the perception of getting tons of sleep and feeling tired too. And I've also had this perception of going months and months and months with barely any sleep and having all kinds of energy. I'm enjoying sleeping while it lasts. It's fun. I don't even get the offering from the ego that I'm tired because I didn't get enough sleep last night. It's not available. But I don't mind if that occurs some more. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me if I sleep at all. It's fine. Because knowing what it's for, you don't mind which way things go. And that really allows everything to work out. I mean, I know people have gone through insomnia and stuff like that, and really like looking for all these different things they can take and different methods and stuff like that. How about just like some calmness? Just give calmness to everything. Forgiveness to everything. It's fine the way it is. It's perfect the way it is. Actually, when I was in Las Vegas, I think I shared with you guys, I was there for 1 week. Most nights I didn't sleep more than 3.5 to 4 hours. And there were 8 nights, and I drank alcohol, 7 of them or 6 of them or something like that. It's not like I was doing shoot the root or something like that, or getting like some of those real sugary shots. Not that they weren't offered to me. I just look at them and I'm like, stick with some vodka and some sparkling water. That sounds a little bit more appetizing. But there was so much activity and so much energy. We're talking, I live in Hawaii and I'm going over there to see my family that doesn't see me very often. I have a huge family and there's just people everywhere, all this activity, all this go, 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 go. I was like not even reachable a lot of times by Tony just because I was always like going, I was always involved, I was always in it and sleeping like that. And the funny thing is too, I'm not I don't have to have it, but just about every morning too, there's like a yoga sesh happening, like physical yoga sesh happening too, while I'm in Vegas. And I'm just like, oh, I'm so grateful for that. I don't know how it's gonna go. I might not have the space to have my physical yoga practice, but I brought my mat just in case. It's just kind of like in a playful openness. It's not like, oh my God, Hope has to have her yoga. Otherwise, she'll just like keep on bugging. It's just kind of like, well, let's see if the space opens up. And that's how kind of like how I approach a lot of things. Well, let's just see if the opening arises. Oh, dang, I really feel like I want to live over there at that place right there. And it's like, oh, okay, well, let's just see if the opening arises. No problem. And when you're open for joy and blessings and goodness, of course, it's naturally coming to you, and it comes more like a surprise than something you designed for yourself. To the person looking at you, they might think that, wow, this person really has it together. They really like set it up so they can have all this luxury and relaxation and whatever. But knowing that you don't have to maintain that, oh, what a blessing. Oh my goodness. What if you did think, oh yeah, look at me, I pat myself on the back. I set myself up to have like all of this that I need, all the stuff that I need, and all these things, and all this freedom, financial freedom, let's say. The burden in that, the burden of even having to maintain it is way more than I would like. Wouldn't you rather just know that you have nothing so you can enjoy everything? Doesn't that sound like so much more fun? It does to me. And I'm gonna jam out. I'm gonna go see Leia before it gets dark. I'm go over there and love her up and play my singing bowl and make some soup. Yeah, I know she's got lots of soup. Leia makes the best broth. Coming to theaters now near you. Hope's Journey to Vegas. Okay. Yeah, let me know, Glenn, if you ever want to follow me around on the camera and just like do a reality show. I'm in. I think that's pretty fun. All right, you guys. So, yay, hopejohnson.org. That's where you can find my recordings and stuffs. You can also donate to me. I love that. It's really awesome. I got one-on-ones if you need one-on-one. A lot of the times it doesn't take a lot of time. I like to let my friends know if you seem like you're in the dumps. You've dumped a bunch of thoughts on yourself and you feel like you can't get out and you need a couple minutes. Let me know. A lot of the times it's really fast. Sometimes we end up talking more. We go into some fun stuff, but yeah, let me know. I just put you on my calendar and um, yeah, it's really fun. It's so funny because some of my friends are like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're done talking to you." It's like personal wisdom dialogues. Yeah, I can't believe I'm talking to you either. It's such a blessing to relate with those who are joining me in awakening from this dream. Thank you so much. I love to get your phone calls. love to get your questions. I love that you joined me on Wisdom Dialogues. I love that Anne joins me here in person every week. She also joins me on Friday, which is awesome. Speaking of Friday, I didn't get that thing over to Lori yet, the recording over to Lori from Friday so that it can get posted. I don't know what's going on with it. It just keeps on erroring out. So we'll see what happens. I'm not sure if I'm going to have Fridays for you, but I'm going to keep trying it. Maybe reboot my phone. We'll see what happens. So until next time, you guys, thank you so much. Mahalo, aloha. Thanks for laughing with me too. Ahui ho.